Developed, tested, and perfected by me, Kel Kellogg. Turbo Flashers. Turbocharge your trout trolling today by going over to fishhuntshoot.com and picking up a set of my Turbo Flashers. You won't regret it. They'll help you catch more and bigger fish. They've done that for me, and they'll do that for you. Gina's hooked up. We went over a nice spot of fish there. That hit the micro turbo bug. I better grab the net. We'll show you this fish after we land it. Look at that fish. Awesome. What a beautiful trout. Okay guys, we're running a really simple offering here. Like I said, we've got that micro turbo bug on there, and I've just got a little tiny trolling weight, just enough to get it under the surface. These fish are right under the chop here. The water is 51 degrees, so they're right under the chop. So we're running that little rotator right along, right underneath the chop. We're tipping that with worm, and hey, it's working. Fish on. That's the biggest fish of the day on that tiny little offering right there. Howdy guys, Kel Kellogg here. Well, I just got back from Collins Lake. I took Gina up there yesterday for her first trout fishing trip of the 2021 season, and she had a great time. She caught a bunch of trout. We kind of lost count when she'd landed 10 fish. I got to land a couple myself, but all in all, it was a very successful trip. We battled a north wind most of the day, but we were able to overcome that, and we had steady action pretty much the entire time. We were trolling from about 9 o'clock in the morning until we pulled off the lake at about 3:30 or so. Of course, when we got off the water, we immediately went to the store, and it was ice creams all around. I had a big cup of ice cream, Gina had some ice cream, and even Lucy got a small cup of vanilla ice cream. Now Gina, she likes to insist that dog is spoiled, and I keep telling her that dog is not spoiled. She is part of the FHS fishing team. When we get ice cream, she gets ice cream. Anyway, I don't think I sold that to Gina very good, but whatever. Me and Lucy, we got a thing going. We're partners out on the water. So anyhow, while we were eating our ice cream, a nice gentleman came up, and we started talking fishing, and he caught some fish yesterday. He didn't do as well as we did, but he got his share of fish. Uh-oh, I dropped something. He got his share of fish. Let me grab that. But he shared that he'd recently got back into trout fishing after about a 10-year hiatus. He's retired now. He's really getting back into it. You know, he's got the cobwebs off the boat. And he was asking me what I've been using to catch trout recently, and what I thought would be working, you know, kind of down the road in a few weeks. And I thought that was a really good question. I thought I'd share the answer with you guys here on the channel. Recently for me, it's been all about finesse fishing, but that has a lot to do with the lakes I've been fishing. You know, I've been hitting Sugar Pine, I've been hitting Rollins, and I've been fishing Collins. Now, the mountain lakes, you know, Sugar Pine and Rollins, they are very, very cold, and the fish tend to be a little bit lethargic. Although, you know, I've gotten a few fish at those fisheries on mag lips and some more aggressive stuff. By and large, I've been fishing, you know, my micro turbos or, you know, night crawlers threaded on the slow death hooks. Basically finesse fishing approaches to get my strikes, to get my fish. At Collins, the story's been a little bit different, but the tactics have been the same. At Collins, that's a lake that can come up very quickly. We've been getting some rain. The lake has been rising. It seems like it's rising every single day. And as a result, there's some wood out there. There's some leaves. And it is definitely stained. The temperature is getting up into a good zone right now. It's up around 50, 51 degrees first thing in the morning, which is fantastic. But the water is still pretty stained. And that has kind of prevented me from doing my usual power fishing approaches. I've been playing with spoons and stuff. I've been getting a few fish on them, but not super effective. Same thing with mag lips. You know, there are times when the mag lip has worked well for us, but there's other times, like yesterday, I ran a mag lip for an hour and never even got a bump on it, as I caught fish after fish after fish, or at least I put Gina on fish after fish after fish on the micro turbos paired with about a 3/4 inch piece of worm. And some of those fish, they came in and they freight trained the rig, there's no doubt about it. But we got a lot of this action. Bam! Bam! 15 seconds. Bam, bam, hook up. And that just tells me that they're a little tentative, they're coming in, and just that taste of the real meat has been closing the deal. And it's been working for me. Now, there was another. All right, first fish of the day here. He's feisty. We're going to get him back in the water. So it's right in the lip. Right through the lip, actually. There we go. Got a piercing out of that deal. There we go. He's out. We'll get him back in the water. Nice little pan-sized trout. Collins Lake, baby. Let's get him back in the water here. We'll put him right through there. Steelhead style. And let me show you that rig. Pretty simple. My Rainbow Turbo. Oh, I'd say today 24 inches and a threaded nightcrawler. No special reason on that length. Pulled that out of the tackle box, 24 inches. I run them anywhere from 18 to 40, you know me. But with that slow death, the worm has a lot of rotation. The turbo puts out the vibration, the flash, brings them in. They get a taste of that real meat. It's fish on, baby. Now, there was another fella out there yesterday. He sent me an email this morning. He was running a cripple lure. He saw one of my past videos that said, you know, when the going gets tough, I really like to run a cripple lure, and that is absolutely accurate. That's a spoon that has a lot of action at kind of lower speeds, and it can be very effective. He did very well yesterday. He caught quite a few rainbows, including a 7-pound rainbow. I don't think he matched me in terms of sheer numbers of fish, but I certainly didn't have a 7-pound rainbow. I mean, that's a huge fish anywhere you're fishing. I think our top fish was probably about 3 pounds. It looked like an ex-penfish up there at Collins, if you're familiar with that penfish program they got up there. Anyhow, that's kind of what I've been doing in the recent term over the last 4 weeks or so. Finesse fishing, mixing in a lot of bait, using worms, using some scent, a lot of vibration, a lot of flash, keeping stuff in the strike zone for an extended period of time, and just getting those fish's confidence up and getting them to commit to my offerings. Now, looking forward, I know what's going to happen. It happens every year around this time. The water levels are rising. The water's a little off color. The water clarity is going to start to increase. The water temperature is going up all the time. The days are getting longer, so it's inevitable that the water temperature is rising. It's going to continue to rise, and we're going to get, you know, into that zone, that 54, 55, 56, 57 degree water that is kind of the holy grail surface temperature for trout anglers. And when that happens, it's going to be time to bust out the plugs and bust out the spoons, bump your speed up, and you are going to start enjoying some very good reaction strike type fishing. The fish are going to be more aggressive, more willing to chase, and planters that have been put in the lakes over the last month to 6 weeks or so, they're going to start finding out that shad and pond smelt are pretty darn yummy, and they're going to start eating that natural forage. And once they dial in on that, you know, you're going to be able to pull stuff, you know, like my trigger spoons, like that. Triggers, well, that's actually a pinhead right there, but what I was going for is it's elusive. Is a Trigger Spoon Junior, something like that. These are spoons that can be trolled from medium speed to kind of semi-fast speed. The Trigger Spoon Junior, anywhere from 1.5-ish up to about 2 miles an hour. And the Trigger Spoon, the standard Trigger Spoon, anywhere from about 2.2 all the way up to 2.8, 2.9. This is my cornerstone spoon for springtime, when the fish dial into feeding on bait fish, when they get aggressive, when they're willing to chase. Typically, all I need to do is put on a trigger spoon, work the top 20 feet of the water column, play with colors a little bit to determine what they want on any given day. And a lot of times, I won't change lures all day long because it's that effective. Spoon trolling is that effective. It's one of the most exciting types of fishing us trout trollers can do, especially when the trout are up. You know, we can use lead core, we can, you know, use weights and top line. We can just top line. You could use a downrigger and peg that downrigger at like 10 feet. Whatever your cup of tea is, the bottom line is we can hit that 2 mile an hour range, 2.5, 2.6, 2.8, down to 2.2. We can mix it up and we can catch all the trout we want on spoons simply because the trout are hungry. The water temperature is at a level that makes it very comfortable for them to be near the surface. The weather gets better. The clarity improves. They can see a good distance. And, you know, as I said, they've eaten some minnows at this point, and they see that spoon come zipping into their area, or they sense it with the lateral line. They go over to investigate, and the next thing you know, you got a trout at the end of your line. And this is going to be a pattern that kicks off first at the foothill lakes, places like Collins, Englebright, Folsom, stuff like that. But as that snow melt goes up the mountain, places like Jackson Meadows, Davis, Elminor, all those places are going to go off. There's going to be a great hardware bite. There always is. April is the time for pulling spoons, and not just my spoons. I'd love it if you pulled my spoons. My spoons are highly effective. I groom them for fishing Northern California and West Coast lakes. But needlefish, humdingers from Max Lure, the tried and true cripple lure, Castmasters, whatever your favorite spoon is, man, get those spoons polished up, check the hooks, get ready, because we've got some very aggressive trout right around the corner. They're waiting for us. We're going to have some very aggressive trout to target. We're going to be able to go out there, pull those spoons. We're going to be able to get pretty easy limits, and we're going to spend a lot of time yelling fish on. Anyway, I can't wait. I'm going to start guiding here at Collins Lake in about a week or so. I expect we're going to be doing some finesse fishing early on, but I hope within a couple weeks that bite is going to flip to more of a power trolling bite where I can pull a lot of spoons. We could pull in a lot of fish, release some, keep some, and just have a good old time out there. Because that's what spoon trolling is really all about. If you can get on a good spoon bite, those are the days that you could catch the 20, 30 fish in a day, release a bunch of fish, take a couple home for the smoker, and go home with a big old smile on your face. You don't have to spend a lot of time finessing them and hoping you get hit and hoping that fish comes back. Man, they come in, they slam that spoon, and it's off to the races. Anyway, I got to go check on my burn pile because it's smoldering down there, and I don't want it to burn up my front yard. I'm Kel Kellogg. I'm signing off. If you are looking for any of the tackle that you hear me talking about here on the channel, including my trigger spoons, lead core rods, and more, you know where to go. FishHuntShoot.com. I will catch you next time right here on YouTube. You guys be careful, wear those life jackets, and don't set your front yard on fire. Your wife will chew your butt. At a minimum. Anyway, I'm Kel Kellogg. I'll catch you guys later. Trigger spoons, trigger spoon magnums, trigger spoon pros, trigger spoon juniors, speed spoons, speed spoon pros. Looking for spoons for your trout fishing adventure? Think FHS spoons. You can check them out at FishHuntShoot.com.